everybody, it's me, GhostCritic, with a new Wednesday comic book pull list, and shall we just distract ourselves from everything that's happened today and look at something pleasant. This week I had 5 comic books on my pull list, so I thought I would treat myself a little bit. My comic book guy has been lately just buying all these huge collections in. I think I've said on Twitter a few times, they're like really nice things, but they're all pence copies for the majority of it. There's very little sense in there, and I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to that. It must have the American cent sign on it rather than the British pence. I'm just like that. So I managed to pick up, not a great deal, about 5 or 6 more comics, back issues. Thought I'd quickly show you those. They're all Fantastic Four, so gradually chipping away at those. But I managed to find issue 200, which I've been looking for a while, which seems to have evaded my grasp until now. Issue number 205. If you've been watching my videos of late, you'll have already seen my collection I have of all the 60s and 70s comics of Fantastic Four I have. This is issue number 221. And I'm at the moment gathering little nuggets of information about my collection from the 80s, issue 222, so you'll be getting that video very soon. Issue 223. I don't know why I managed to pick this up because it is a pence copy, mustn't have noticed, but issue 233. So those are the little extra back issues I picked up this week. I'll go on to the brand new comics in just a second. I had no new subscribers last week, but that's okay. I've still got you guys watching. Thanks. But you know what, if you do subscribe to my channel in the next 7 days, you'll get a shout out in the next video. And if you have videos here on YouTube and you regularly upload, and they can be about anything, it doesn't have to be about comics or pop culture, I'll put a link to your channel page in the description bar below. So if you fancy joining my merry band of comic book men and women on this channel, then subscribe, hit the red button, and I will shout you out next week. On Monday I put out my comic book reviews for October. Finally picked out my top 5 favourite books, and then I picked an extra 5 just to have a quick chat about. Thank you to everyone who's been watching that and commenting on that video. It was a tough month, October, for me, and I struggled to find comics that I really wanted to talk about. However, the one that I picked as my favourite comic was, above everything that came out in October, the best thing, and everybody should be reading it. What was it? You'll have to go and watch the video. Off you go. Not just yet. I've got 5 new comics to show you. I'm going to kick off with DC this week because that's kind of the bulk of my pull list, surprisingly. I've got issue number 10 of Wonder Woman. We're back with the kind of year 1 origin story. I finally liked the way these 2 separate storylines, the past year 1 origin story and the present day, are kind of connecting now and making more sense to do it this way. But what I'm more interested about is, once this is all done, once we've finished these first 2 story arcs that have been kind of basically running concurrently, what Rucker is going to lead into then, and if he's still going to be on the book. Who knows? I've not read anything that he's leaving, but then I've not read anything that anyone's coming on to it either. So for me, it's a bit wary what's going to happen. It's been a solid book. I've really enjoyed finally picking up a solo Wonder Woman comic, and I know there's a lot of people out there that have been enjoying it too. Also, issue 10 of The Flash. Again, another DC solo character that I've been really enjoying of late. I know people have picked up on the kind of art style on this. I can't remember which one it is that people don't like, but I like both of them. They are similar but dissimilar, if that makes any sense. But I just really like their art style, the way, and it kind of lends itself to the Flash and the kind of character he is, and the notion of speed and all this kind of kinetic energy stuff with the Speed Force. And it looks like we're getting a new villain into our Rebirth series, so looking forward to reading that. Finally, from DC on their Vertigo line, it's Gail Simone's Clean Room. We're up to issue 13. Another very kind of crazy, freaky horror type cover going on there. What baby is lying within that swaddling? This has been a great kind of psychological horror book that I've been lapping up month after month. Gail Simone really doing well on this. Loving. One issue from Marvel, and it's Charles Soule's take on Daredevil. We've got issue 13. It's obviously not as good as Mark Waid's and Chris Samney's run was, but it's just a different Daredevil, and we've had years and decades of different versions of Daredevil, and maybe it's just growing. Charles Soule is kind of growing into the character, finding his kind of pace and what he wants to do with Daredevil, that maybe just isn't as instantly likable as Mark Waid and Chris Samney's run was. But I'm enjoying it. It's not a comic that I'm thinking, oh, I really should consider dropping this. Ron Garney's artwork is it's an acquired taste. I do think it suits this darker, back to the kind of darker version of Daredevil. So we'll see how that goes. Finally, only one issue from Image, and that's the anthology series from Brandon Graham and Emma Rios. It's Island, up to issue number 12. Often hit and miss with an anthology series, as with any anthology series. There is a lot, by the looks of what's inside, there is a lot more stories than there usually is. The past few issues have really been just like two different stories with a bit of artwork stuck at the front and the back, which is all very well. The stories have been great. There's been some good kind of undergroundy type art storytelling going on here, but there seems to be, from the back cover, there seems to be a lot more going on in this issue. But if you like your kind of more underground, more very indie type of artwork and storytelling, something that's a bit off the beaten path, this certainly is for you. There are my comics. I hope I diverted you and made you forget about what's been going on today for 8 or 9 minutes. Until next time, I will see you very soon. Bye bye.